was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and she was looking to get a fellow friend of hers some gifts. I think it was for his birthday, but it occurred to me that there might be quite a few young ladies out there, or ladies of all ages, who are having trouble finding gifts for a particular man in their life. So I figured I would offer some advice, some different ideas for whatever the event might be, Valentine's Day, birthday, whatever. Um, so I tend to think of gifts in a few broad categories. Um, One of those categories being, are you going to get this person something useful or something that is more, I guess you'd say, like a collectible or something like that, right? Like, are you getting something that they're going to use every day, or are you getting them something that they might not use hardly at all, right? I think that's a good place to start, because once you figure out if you were trying to get them something useful or something that's, for example, something you might set on a shelf, decoration or something, that really steers you in the right direction. And that's kind of just about knowing the person that you're getting the gift for. Are they really big into stuff you put on your shelf, or is it your buddy that works construction and doesn't care about that kind of stuff, needs something useful, right? So those are kind of two general categories that I think it's useful to start off in thinking. Beneath that, it's useful to think, okay, if you're going to get them something useful, for example, is this going to be something that's everyday useful, or is this something that's special occasion useful, right? Like, you might think of this like shoes. Are you getting them sneakers that they're going to wear every day, or is it dress shoes that they're going to wear once in a while, right? This will also help you to work out to like how much you're thinking about spending. If you're looking at a pair of dress shoes, that cost might be different than a pair of sneakers. It kind of depends. But that's a good place to start if you're just looking for some general direction on buying a gift. Now, that being said, I tend to, me personally, as a guy, I like unique stuff, things that maybe I've never seen before. It could be something that in a category of things that I typically like. For example, hats. I wear a lot of hats and a lot of different kinds of hats. And so a hat for me, if it's just like, a ball cap or whatever, that may or may not be cool. But like if it's some sort of really cool hat, it's from somewhere, handmade. I mean, it doesn't have to be super expensive. It's just sort of the uniqueness of the item. That's for me personally. Not every guy is like that. So again, that kind of depends on you knowing the person that you're shopping for. Let's see here. Let me check my little book. So that's kind of some general direction. All right. Good place to start. Now, I collected some ideas together for specifics, to maybe give you a little more direction if you're struggling to think of a gift. And I tried to get a variety of things to help all y'all for your different kinds of men in your life. So to begin with, shaving stuff, right? That is a good idea as a gift, because shaving stuff is extremely useful, but you can also get some really cool shaving gear. Obviously, I don't really worry about that. But shaving gear, you use it. Most guys use that often, and you can find some really unique shaving kits, razors, whatever. Um, I'm gonna post links to a few websites that have some of this stuff so that you can find uh, some of this a little bit easier. You can obviously always go do a Google search for any of this kind of stuff. But so, for example, you can find razors that have all kinds of unique materials for the handle. I've seen antler, I've seen bone and various kinds of wood and metals. So it would be really easy to find something specific to your guy, right? Like if he's big into hunting, maybe the antler thing would be a good idea, right? But that's a useful thing. Most guys are shaving. Now, on the flip side of that, if your guy doesn't shave, like me, a lot of options there as well. My business, which is on, this is the channel for it. I make beard oils, beard products, right? So that's a really great gift idea for a guy with a beard, because it keeps your beard smelling really nice, and it keeps your beard healthy and the face underneath healthy. That's a really great gift idea, especially if your guy isn't currently using anything. And that's useful for, a little bit of facial hair on up to, the wizard past me or whatever. And you can find a link to my website where I sell my products, and check that out. Highly recommend it. Another grooming idea for with beard, without beard, either way, comb. Now, a lot of people are using plastic combs. That's actually not very good for your beard or your hair. Hardwood combs, on the other hand, are a great alternative. Hardwood combs, you can find some really cool ones, and that they look cool. That's a cool gift. They're fairly reasonably priced most of the time, so you can find one for a reasonable price, and it makes a cool gift, especially if you combine it with, shaving kit or beard oils or something like that. It makes a pretty cool combo gift. If your guy is a smoker, pipes, like pipe tobacco, is pretty rad. Not everybody's into it, I just figured I would suggest that. There's a website called Pipes and Cigars that has a massive selection of pipe tobacco and various tobacco pipes and everything. So that might be a good way to go. That's a pretty cool gift because, again, you can find some cool, unique pipes or something like that even if he's got a collection already, you may be able to find something vintage or something. So that's a pretty cool idea. I would dig that personally. You can also, if your guy is a smoker, be it pipes or cigarettes or whatever, they make really cool, like, leather pouches for holding, your tobacco or whatever, your pipes. And there's a lot of really cool guys doing some great work out there, for, like, tobacco pouches, custom, handmade, leather, nice quality. I have one for my tobacco pipe. So, and again, I'll post links to some sites on here so you can find that easily. Let's see. If your guy is a dressy guy, if he likes dressing up, or he's in a job where he's got to wear, dress clothes, cufflinks. Again, something where you can find some really cool, unique stuff. Maybe something vintage or whatever. That's kind of a cool thing. Cufflinks, a cool pair of cufflinks is something you can hold on to for a while. So it makes a good gift. That's another thing that I think about as well that I forgot to mention. Is this like a long-term gift, or is this a short-term gift? Meaning, is this something that you're intending for the person to keep forever, or a while, or whatever. I mean, obviously, if you get them a case of beer, that's not really like a gift that's supposed to go a long way, at least for most of us, but something to think about. So a good pair of cufflinks is something that a guy can hold on to, and it's kind of cool. Let's see, things like flasks. You can find a lot of really cool like hip flasks, unique stuff out there. That makes a pretty rad gift. Some sort of cool bottle opener or something, and obviously using these sort of in conjunction with one another is a great idea as well. You can sort of piece together some sort of little themed gift package, or whatever, and then that's a cool way to go. You can spend $10 on this, $10 on that, piece it together, give them a whole set of cool stuff, and that's pretty rad. Let's see, a new watch. Guys may or may not be wearing watches these days. It just depends. It's an option. Is that person a sporty person? Are they a working guy that would mess up something that's fancy? Are they a fancy person? Just depends. But it's an idea. Watches are useful, and as a gift, it can be something that they use for a long time and lasts for a while. So something to think about. I read a lot. I read a ton of books. So books, for me, that always tends to be a pretty good option. Now, you run into the situation where, well, what book? You may or may not know what book to get. Gift card. Amazon gift card, that's a good way. You can find Amazon, they have books on there, used books for a couple of dollars, depending on what you're looking for. So that can be a good way, good, bang for your buck. Let's see. If your guy is, into beer or fine alcohol or whatever, a beer tasting, like at a local brewery or something, that's pretty rad. Or whiskey or scotch or whatever they're into, or just a good bottle of scotch. That's a classy gift, and that pairs well with a lot of the other items on my suggestion list as well. As far as what to get, if you don't know that much about like scotch or whatever, if you go to any liquor store that's not super ghetto, they'll be able to steer you on what's a good scotch to get. And in terms of what you're going to spend on that, it just depends. I mean, you can spend a whole lot on an aged bottle of scotch, or you can spend a little bit and get a still pretty decent bottle. But it's a good idea if your guy's into that kind of thing. Leather messenger bags and stuff like that, if that's your guy's thing, he's an aspiring artist or, whatever. It's kind of a cool gift. You can find a lot of really cool handmade leather gifts, generally speaking. And that's something that leather gets better with age. It tends to, if you get something that's good. So a leather bag, leather backpack, messenger bag, whatever, if your guy's in school or something, makes a pretty cool gift. A lot of the custom leather places, like for wallets and bags and such, will offer custom initials or whatever you want to put on there, so you can get their initials put on there. It's kind of a cool gift, something to think about. And then, like I say, hats. I wear a lot of hats, so I have a whole lot of different kinds of hats. And again, ask yourself, am I getting a practical hat, a dress hat, whatever, This particular hat that I'm wearing is a Gorin Brothers hat. I have a couple of their hats. A lot of their stuff is made in America, which I try to buy stuff that's made in America. And they make good quality hats. They have a lot of different kinds of hats. If you're getting a hat, make sure you know his head size. If he's already got hats laying around, you can look in there and kind of find out but try to make sure you take into account what kind of hat it is. Not all hats fit the same, so it's a good option though. Hats are kind of a cool gift. You don't necessarily see that as a gift a lot. Couple of suggestions for finding unique gifts. Etsy. I'm sure if you're a female and you're watching this, you're probably already familiar with like Etsy. Etsy's really cool. They've got a lot of really unique, pretty much everything that I named. You can find on Etsy something that's unique that somebody made, whatever. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. So Etsy's a good option. eBay. You can find, I'd say if you're looking for something that's like handmade, go Etsy. If you're looking to buy something that is maybe like vintage or antique, antique cufflinks or something, I don't know. eBay might be a better bet on that. You can find some pretty cool stuff on there. I think that's all. I hope that was useful to you guys and you gals. It's just some different ideas to maybe get your memory going. I've had a lot of friends that seem to have a very hard time shopping for a guy, and so I think this should help you. Again, have a general idea of what your guy likes. Take into account, sizing, and try to use those general parameters that I laid out at the beginning to kind of get you started. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, or I didn't cover something that you think would be helpful, leave it in the comment there, and I will try and get back to you, and if need be, make another video that covers whatever I left out. So, till we meet again.